everyone, this is GameBros64 and I'm bringing you guys a how to be immune video setup gear guide on my Death Wizard here today. And pretty much this is just something that is very important because if you were ever to support someone or something like that, why not go immune, you know, if you can. It also helps people out because not many people know about how to get immune, or if they do, they only know how to get to immune on like a few different schools. So they don't know how to get immune to more than one school or more than 2 or 3 schools. And I'm going to show you my gear setup of how you can be immune to a total of 5 schools at a time. So let's go ahead and get started. First I'm going to show you my overall setup. Then I'm going to show you my each individual piece of gear so you know the name of each individual piece. And I will also show you or tell you why I run each of those pieces. And then I will also end it with a deck setup of how I run my wizard, kind of, given the gear that he has. So we're going to go ahead and start it off with the overall setups. 5k health, very good there. It's a little low, but like I said, you're immune, so you really aren't going to be taking a lot of damage. You got 5 damage, which is just awesome, really. You just, you know, that's very important to have, is that 5 damage, because with that you're gonna win a lot of duels, you're gonna win a lot of games, you're gonna be very overpowered with this 5 damage. Very important on this wizard. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so you have no accuracy, it's unfortunate, but you do have 5 immunities. You have death, life, myth, fire, and ice, or fire and storm, sorry. I do not have ice, I do not have balance, but if I rotate my ring around, I can get immune to those, but sadly I don't, because then I will lose 230 mana, so I'll only have 150, which isn't bad, but I just I don't want to, I'm too lazy. Next we have 1% crit, which is phenomenal because when I throw my sacrifice on myself, then boom, I have a 1% chance of criticalling, which is going to be awesome when it goes off, and it only has went off twice in the past year, so it's going off pretty good. I'd say it's doing really good at 1%. I'm immune to death, so if I throw stuff like Beguile or Bad Juju or Sacrifice or Dark Pact, I take no damage. Absolutely phenomenal there. Really important, especially for death. If you are death and you are not immune to your own school, but you're immune to everything else, I just kind of want to slap you in the face, because it's like, dude, really, come on, man, be immune to death so you can throw Sacrifice without taking any damage and healing someone. That's just really good. Your block is terrible. Like, I mean, you have 16%, but 25 to the Spirit Schools. That's because of the ring. 16 overall, pretty much. Fail block because you're also 120. So block isn't very much at 120, and you're not really focused on block really because you're immune. So if they hit you, either they're going to do very little damage or they're going to do no damage at all because you're immune. And that's with armor piercing. Armor piercing is really important. Don't have any armor piercing. You can if you're other schools, but if you're death, since your own spells do damage to you, you don't want to have any armor piercing, because if you do, you're going to pierce your resist and do damage to yourself. You don't want to do that. So don't have armor piercing. Stun resist, very important, because the 5% there, you can add that to the TC conviction, so you have 100%. TC for conviction gives you 95 stun resist. Very important there, just for like the first fight at Darkmoor, the ghoul, I can't say his name, starts with a Y. I hate his name so much, it's just so difficult for me to pronounce. But the ghoul boss, Darkmoor Graveyard, first fight, each time you throw a blade, he does stun you, so it's important to have that 100% so you never get stunned, you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. You have 34 incoming, very good, just in case healer needs to heal you or something like that. You aren't going to be taking a lot of damage, so you can have lower incoming if you want, but why not go for a higher incoming, because bigger heals, you know, and healers love to see really big heals, because then you're just really having them show off. 15 outgoing in case you ever have to throw a sacrifice. Really, I don't care about in and out as much because I'm immune, and mainly all I'm going to be doing is supporting people and not really healing them. I want to leave that to a life wizard that actually have crit and outgoing and stuff like that I don't have really. Pip conversion, have 0, don't really care for it. Shadow Pip, don't have any of that, don't really care for it. And Pips is 73. Now I know in the comment section you guys are probably going to be spamming me saying, oh, you don't have full max power Pip chance, max accuracy. like I stress so much that you guys should always have max power per chance and max accuracy. Now, unfortunately, in this setup, I don't have that. And the reason for is, technically, I already have max accuracy because all the spells I use either have 100% or, yeah, pretty much 100% because that blade always has 100%. So I pretty much always have max accuracy. Power pip chance, unfortunately, I don't need max because everything I use only costs pretty much 1 pip. So I don't really need a lot of pips and stuff like that because all I'm really doing is using feints and blades and stuff like that, shields and traps, and that's it. So I really don't need max power pip chance. Off to the individual pieces of gear. So first of all, you're going to run the Jade gear. Very important. Some people say you should go up to the 110. 110 is not better than 100. 110 only provides more health. That is all it provides. It only provides more health. It doesn't provide any more universal resist. So if you are at 100, go for the 100 one. If you're at 110, go for the 110 one. Doesn't really matter. But if you have the 100 version thinking, oh, I want to get the 110 version, don't do it. All you're doing is really increasing your health, which is fine, but you're already immune. So it's like, if they do 0 damage to you, having like 100 or 200 extra health does nothing. You're already immune. So it's up to your personal opinion whether you want to upgrade or not. Stick with the latest gear or whatever, the most recent gear. Jade robe, very standard, gives you the most resist. Obviously you want Jade gear. Jade boots, very good. Now there is the rock band shoes, I believe that's what they called, and they give 18 universal resist, and this one gives 17. So if you want to get those and you can't get the Jade boots, they're kind of hard to get, but if you get lucky and you pull them, go ahead and equip them because you have them. But there is the rock and roll shoes or whatever, I think rock band shoes or something like that, whatever they're called. I think they give you a Minotaur spell. They give you 18 universal resist, and they also give you accuracy. I'm pretty sure they give you quite a bit of accuracy, like 10% or 20% or something like that. They give you some insane accuracy, which is really, really, really good. So you can have that as well. So you have accuracy and 1 more resist if you want those shoes, and you can get them instead of getting the Jade gear, but I have the Jade gear, so I run the Jade gear. The wand. Wand is personally your opinion. You can run any wand you want. Don't run this wand, the Eye of the Soothsayer, because it gives you pierce, and you don't want to pierce yourself because then you'll be taking damage, and there's no sense of dealing damage to yourself when you want to be immune, because then you're no longer immune. You're technically doing damage to yourself, so therefore you're no longer immune, which is unfortunate. So I put on the croc, like the croc wand, pretty much just for more resist. Fire and storm is pretty much the heavy hitting schools in Wizard101, so it's important to always have them being immune, because they usually do the most damage, depending on their gear setup and everything like that, and what blades they have. Most of the time in their spells they do the most damage, so it's always good to have them immune. It's also where I get my 5% damage, so I mean, why not wear it? So you have that as well. It's not exalted, it's level 40, so it's the lower version of Crocopatry. I think it's Master or Archmage. I think it's Master though, since it's level 40. Dagger, you can get this in the Crown Shop as well. It's only like 200, 275, maybe 300 tops, somewhere around there. Very cheap in the bazaar. It's only a few 100 crowns. Most people usually run this for noob PvP, level 5, level 10 PvP or something like that. They do low level PvP. They usually run this. I'm pretty sure you can probably go to Lord Nightshade and pick this up in Triton Avenue. If you kill him several 100,000 times, you can eventually probably pick this up if you don't want to spend a few crowns and buy it in the Crown Shop. But yeah, this just further extends the resist, so you have your immunity. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you any jewels or anything like that, which I'm glad it doesn't, because then even low level PvP would be even more brutal because you'd have jewels on this. Yeah, so there's this amulet. You can extend this amulet up to the tier 1 version. Sadly, I only have the tier 2. Tier 1 gives you 2 square sockets and 1 more universal resist, which is phenomenal in case you want more resist to further extend your immunity, in case someone pierces you. So you can have this if you want, This is tier 2. It's a Rasputin amulet. If you want the tier 1, you can just keep farming them and eventually get it. But since I already have my immunity, I really don't need it. If I get it along the way from helping others, then I'll obviously equip it. But for now, I just have this because it's all I got for now. Ring. Any ring is your call, really. Unfortunately, you cannot wear the ice ring for this. The ice ring only gives 9 resist to ice and more block and stuff like that, whereas all the other schools give 17 to that specific school. So it's important to wear those. So you probably can't wear the ice ring thinking that you'll be immune, because that's probably not going to happen. But you can wear like the balance, because I'm not immune to balance. So if I fight balance, and that's all I'm fighting, I might switch the ring over to balance, but once again, I'm too lazy to switch rings, and I don't want to lose 230 mana each time I switch rings in between battles. So I'm just going to leave it at myth, and if I do fight ice or balance, I'm going to have to suck it up and deal with the damage. It's very little damage, especially since you also have flat resist on it, so it's going to be very even a little smaller damage. And since you have the amulet, sorry to show you the deck, yeah, if you have the amulet, you get 2 squares, so you can socket in more flat resist, maybe even more universal flat resist, just for extra protection. So yeah, so you have that. So you can judge for yourself which ring you want. It all really depends. Personally, for me, is the pet. What you need to have is both Proof and Defy, and then 4 wards. If you have 3 wards, make Ask Fairy, you can go ahead and do that. But you pretty much need Proof and Defy and a few wards, and then you could be immune with this. And then whatever ward you don't pull, obviously just use the ring. Go and craft the ring and stuff like that, and try not to have the ring be the same resist as the one on your ward, unless you're like PvPing or something and you want more resist to like storm or fire, then go ahead and do it. And it's an armament, so it's very important to have this armament, though it doesn't look very cool or spiffy or anything like that. It does give you 3 sharpened blades, and these sharpened blades do stack with your regular sharpened. So like your bad boys, you can sharpen these as well. You can also throw your regulars, and you also have your pet sharpen, which is absolutely phenomenal. So more blades to throw on your hitting wizard or your hitting friend or whatever. Mount. Any mount is up to you. There is no mount out there that with universal resist just yet, so you can wear almost anything you want, whatever makes your wizard look cool or anything like that. But the mount is pretty much excluded. You don't really need the mount to have immunity. Next, you have the deck. You don't need the deck either to have immunity, but I run it for the square socket so I can have more flat resist. And then I also run it for the starting pip because that's incredible. This is my overall deck setup, pretty much. This is my standard deck setup. I run 4 feints and 2 potent traps, for the reason being I can double feint 2 different people, which is really good. So in case we fight 2 different bosses, I can double feint them. Also run these feints just so I can get my feints up quicker. Because as soon as I get my feints up quicker, and this is the same for my storm, anyone who supports me and I'm on my storm or something like that, the sooner you get your feints up there, I can kill. Because all I really need is 1 or 2 blades and 2 feints, and I can on average hit for 20 to 30,000 damage with almost any spell I use, because those feints are up there. So it's very good to have those feints up there, because those are just absolutely destructive and they do so much damage output. And you don't really care about the trap being on you because you're immune. So it's like you're not going to take any damage. Might as well. It's like a free 70 trap on the boss. Not going to take any damage. No punishment for you for using this unless they like remove it because it's their cheat or something. Which if they do that, then obviously all you got to do is put an indemnity on it and it's protected. So you got your sharpened blades, you got more sharpened blades, and you got more blades to throw. You throw your dark pack because you're immune to death, so it's a free universal high percentage blade rather than being a balance and throwing universal blades, but they're low percentage blades like 20 and 25. These are 30 and up if you sharpen them, so very important there. Reshuffle, it makes your decks very small and efficient. Pretty much you're able to get these cards up like first turn. Most of these cards come up first turn. It's very important to get the cards you want up quick and possible. And if you use cards or delete cards and stuff like that to pull from TC, you have reshuffle to reshuffle your whole entire deck pretty much. And then you have your TC. I just further extend Fortify in case I'm facing a boss with Pierce or minions with Pierce and I don't like the fact that they're piercing my immunity, so I'll just throw up the Fortify just to have more resist. Or they'll pierce the Fortify and keep my resist at immune. More dark packs because they're universal. Like I said, I don't take any damage from them, so it's just a free 35% blade that's universal that stacks with all other blades given to someone else. Most people don't use dark packs because they do take a lot of damage, 300 just to throw one of these, and if you have a lot of damage and not very much resist, you could be taking almost 500, 600, maybe even 700 damage, and you can crit on these. You can crit on these, which is very important. So it's also another bonus of having no crit, pretty much, even though it's 1%. It's also a good bonus to have no crit when you're doing this, especially for death, just so you don't crit on these bad boys and do a lot of damage to you. But unfortunately, you're immune, so you know you're not going to really do much unless you have armor piercing on you. Feints just they stack with your other feints. They just push out more damage, pretty much. That's all I have to say about them. They give you a lesser trap for 20% instead of 30% or 40%, depending on if it was potent or regular. But TC just further extends more damage output, and it's just extra feints. If you blow through these feints really good and you need another feint really quick or something where you didn't pull it that turn, you have TC feints to yank for. Cleanses, your universal out to everything. Weaknesses, accuracies, dispels, anything you name it. Infections. If you don't like it on you or you don't like it on your hitting wizard, as a support player, every support player should carry cleanse and reshuffle because they are two important pieces of cards. They're two important cards of the deck. Every player should have them because they're just absolutely phenomenal and they're lifesavers, especially when that genie pops up. No one's expecting a genie, and you're just like, oh crap, everyone has no cleanses, it's like crap, this is gonna suck, and then you're like, wait guys, I have the cleanse, and then everyone's like relieved, there's no stress, and they'll be like, yeah, he came in clutch because he's got the cleanse and stuff like that. So it's just very important. So yeah, this is pretty much the deck. This is the overall setup. Back to the final stats. This is everything, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think how I did this or how I presented this. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you had any questions or concerns about where to get these, I can post in the description a link to Wizard Wiki, which is pretty much a database. It's like Google search for Wizard101 items, pretty much. If you want to think of Google for Wizard101, it's Wizard101 Wiki. So it's just absolutely phenomenal. So if you have any questions, just search it up in Wiki. Very extremely efficient in finding the things that you want to find. Also, you can just Google it pretty much. Just say, oh, 1 resist, universal resist 1, if there's something out there like that. Or if you want to like look up certain boots or anything like that, or upgraded version of such and such, or better jewels, just Google it pretty much. Or you can just message me and I'll try to help you out when I can. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.